Welcome to another episode of Double Take. I'm James Kwan, joined once again by Dylan McCaffrey. Dylan, it's tour time already? Time flies, man. This is crazy.
The future is now. Today we talk NFL and we plan an upcoming holiday.
First things first, we gotta talk about NBA free agency.
The NBA offseason is about to be crazy. Trades start today, draft is on Wednesday, free agency opens up on Friday. We're basically a month from the season. James, what are you expecting to go down?
Well, first I just want to say, Fred VanVleet, if you're watching this, please go back to Toronto, man. I just think he fits so well into this team. Guy who has a chip on his shoulder, undrafted, Wichita State, overlooked. This is like basically the culture that I think that the Raptors used in that year that they won the title. You know, what they've inherited going on forward. An overlooked team, a gritty team, a defensively minded but also offensively talented team that I think that a lot of people aren't going to give the credit that they deserve. I just think he fits so well, and I think that if he gets the money that he wants from this, they're not going to regret it. They're not going to regret giving him the money.
By all indications, I don't think that he seems like he is going back to the Raptors. He's made it clear, like on the JJ Redick podcast, like, I won my championship, I want to go get paid now. You think the Raptors are going to shell out for Fred VanVleet?
Well, the thing is that they want Giannis, they want Paul George, they want someone from this 2021 offseason.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's a lot of attractive names. But guess what? None of these guys are going to go and deal with negative 20-degree wind chill in Toronto unless that place is competitive.
Yeah.
You're not going to deal with going through customs every away stretch unless your team is honestly kicking ass before you get there. And without Fred, I don't know if this team's going to be able to do that.
Fred is a piece where you sign a player that you drafted so you can go above the soft cap, and then you can use that to trade for guys and continue to go above the soft cap. I get it from that perspective. Jaylen Brown got a $28 million contract, which I think is maybe Fred VanVleet's worth a little bit less than that, but I think he's going to come out demanding a lot of money. And I don't know if he is now or will be the second best player on a championship team. I don't know if he's worth your second highest salary spot. But again, it's a recruiting tool, you know? It's more than just Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
But I think that if he leaves, he ends up on a contender in a place like Milwaukee or something. I think the Bucks are going to try and get someone that will, I don't know, just let Giannis know that they're trying to have the right attitude going into his extension next year.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do. But again, and I mentioned this before, I get Green Bay Packers vibes from this Milwaukee organization.
Yeah.
Where they have this guy, with Packers, Aaron Rodgers, with the Bucks, Giannis, where they know they have the guy, but they just seem so hesitant to give him the pieces that he needs. And that's not going to bode well. When Aaron Rodgers skips town, when Giannis skips town, these guys are going to realize that when you have the guy, when you have this once-in-a-generational talent, you can't let him go. And you got to give him what he wants.
Yeah, I think that what they need to get is a star. And I don't think that they're going to be able to this offseason unless they make a trade for someone like Chris Paul. Right. I think that DeMar DeRozan's the only really guy that can go and make a huge change for a team this offseason, at least through free agency. I'm hearing he's going to LA. I mean, I'm not hearing that it's happening, but I'm hearing that in that he responded very positively to...
Of course he would love to go there, man.
For years, he was I need to beat LeBron. That's the guy. My career arc is getting over LeBron. But when LeBron wins a championship and then tells you, hey, come back to your hometown and play with me, after I beat you all those years, why wouldn't you take that offer?
No, of course. And for him to get a title, for him to do that in his hometown, it's kind of a no-brainer for him. I'm hesitant to see if it happens. I know that they're looking at a number of guys right now, the Lakers, and mostly involving shipping out Kuzma and Danny Green and some picks. But I know Dennis Schroeder has been the big name for them in the past couple of days.
Schroeder. I think so. That's the thing is that I think that they lose pieces like Howard, Danny Green, Rondo. I'm hearing is gone. This offseason is not about the big game-changing huge contracts from this free agent class. This is an offseason of
role players.
Middle tier role players. Yeah, so we've got VanVleet's obviously on the higher end, but for a team like Milwaukee, you can't get a star this offseason unless you really make a big trade. So I look at guys like Fred VanVleet, Danilo Gallinari, Broderick, maybe Gordon Hayward if he opts out. Those are guys that I think bump Milwaukee up a level, a second-tier star to get them set up to make another trade next year or something.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we talked about Joe Harris being a guy that is definitely going to lead his current team. I think the Nets, they have to deal with some luxury tax issues, paying the super team that they are going forward. I think they let him walk.
Yeah.
He's a guy who I think has value on any team, a 3-and-D type player, makes a smart play, not a ball hog, not a locker room, negative impact kind of guy. I think a lot of teams are going to be gunning for him because you probably don't have to pay him that much either, and that's attractive for a lot of these teams dealing with the uncertainty of the cap going forward.
Last offseason was crazy, and next offseason has a bunch of big names. this offseason, the guys that are going to make headlines is guys like Joe Harris, Marcus Morris, Gallinari, like teams. I think they're going to go to teams like the Heat are going to try and build up a little bit. The Sixers are looking for some pieces.
Yeah, Portland.
I really hope Portland gets I heard about Hayward to Portland, which the Celtics wouldn't get anything from that, but I just love Portland so much that would be so cool to watch. I think there's a lot of combinations like that. Gallinari really has his pick. He said that he doesn't care about money anymore. He wants to win. So I could see him in Houston or Milwaukee or something.
If you're the Celtics, I would love to have Zach Collins.
Yeah, this free agency, you mentioned Serge Ibaka, he can make make a difference on a lot of teams. That he can now all he's freaking Steph Curry all of a sudden.
He can shoot it, man, and when he's healthy, he puts up good numbers.
Yeah. So this offseason, it's going to be a crazy month. Not just crazy in that you're going to see LeBron James signing a super contract, but you're going to see just a lot of pieces moving around.
100%. No, and I think definitely by the time our next show comes around, the NBA is going to be in a completely different place. But until those games start, we got a tight NFL playoff race going. A lot of divisions are very close, neck and neck. A lot of 6-3 teams. So with that in mind, I think it's time to set our over/under reactions on the NFL's top storylines.
So Week 10 in the NFL brought some pretty crazy moments. Obviously that DeAndre Hopkins Hail Mary game winner, but we also saw the Patriots upset the Ravens last night. Russell Wilson having yet another questionable week. And just to make sense of it all, we have to sort out reality from overreactions. James, what goes on that list?
Well, I think you mentioned one thing was Russell Wilson and this MVP race.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think we're all rooting for Russell. We want him to get the MVP. I think he's kind of a caliber player that's definitely going to win one. But he's just having these games, too many turnovers, too many weird decisions. You can't lose to the Rams. These are all things that can't happen. I think Mahomes is secretly just having a perfect season. We're definitely experiencing yet another year of greatness with Patrick Mahomes. It's scary, man. He's too good. He's too young. I don't know what the future of the league is going to be like.
We love to throw other names into this MVP race, but it's really there's a horse halfway down the track, and then the rest of us all trying to catch up. Russell Wilson, the Seahawks fall to 6-3. That game against the Bills was pretty ugly. The game yesterday wasn't great.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson, 5 weeks in, if we claim the MVP 5 weeks in, he's the MVP. I think that he came out this year looking to prove that he's the MVP. I think that what he's proving this year is he's a top 3 quarterback. I don't think he's going to get to the MVP level in the next 7 weeks. No. I think that Mahomes is too far ahead. Let's put Mahomes aside for just a second.
Yeah, he's like the LeBron, those years of LeBron, you're all right, now who's the best player except for LeBron? He's rank is 0.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers because I have always pulled for Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a bad man.
Of course.
And too many people put him in the category way too soon of Breeze and Brady were he's a great player, but washed up, doesn't have the team. They drafted Love this year. Rodgers is awesome. Rodgers is killing it this year. I think that he's the second best quarterback in the league right now, still, in my opinion. He's got 26 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. They're 7-2.
Yeah.
He's doing what he does every year. And I'm not surprised in the slightest.
I think he actually has the best QBR in the league. I think I looked it up the other day, but he's at least top 2. He's right behind Mahomes. I think you look at it, he's right in there. I think Kyler Murray reminds me a lot of young Russell Wilson, where you're this guy, he's got everything. He just needs a little bit more time. I think Kyler being, him throwing the ball a bunch, running, showing his athletic ability. He's showing us a lot, and it's kind of like the Lamar thing where it looks so cool. Why not just give him the MVP? Patrick Mahomes is a mile ahead of all these guys.
Yeah. You said beginning of the year you were looking for Murray to take the next step. Yeah. I didn't think he was going to do it, but just in talking about taking the next step, last year, Kyler Murray, the whole year, 544 rush yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. This year, through 10 weeks, 543 rush yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. He's running around the field. He's zipping around like a little toddler, like a little bobblehead. It's kind of funny to watch him.
He looked with his helmet on. He looks like Stewie Griffin, and I think the way he runs and his little arms, it looks like that. But the ball pops so well off his arm. He's an athlete. He's got a great arm, and that him in the open field, it's just like Lamar, where we could converge on him, we could try to pressure him, but then we open up the middle of the field. We open a lot of ways for him to affect us with his legs that we don't have to worry about when we face a Breeze or an Eli Manning or all these guys, the quarterbacks of the past. So I think you look at these guys, I think the clearly who's best is kind of, black and white right now, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of season to be played.
Yeah, so Mahomes like just to set the MVP race aside, Mahomes has more yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions, more wins than all of these guys, and he's not on track to slow down at all.
Yeah, no, he's the better quarterback. Now, I think we're talking about the best in the league. Steelers are undefeated. I'm a Steelers fan. I'd love to say they're the best in the league, but I think we both agree, right? Like, them being the best in the NFL could be an overreaction.
So, you don't get to 9-0 by accident. You don't win 9 games, 0 losses by accident. But when I think about all the teams I've seen in my life, I haven't seen many 9-0 teams, but I feel like I've seen a good amount of teams that I think are better than the Steelers this year. They win close games. They're beating bad teams. I mean, they beat the Bengals yesterday by a good amount, which is what good teams need to do. I thought they were going to lose that game to the Cowboys. I did too. I know Ben gets hurt, but that's a bad Cowboys team. But that's the thing. There's some teams that will beat you because there's just so much firepower, but the Steelers are a team that has the attitude, which is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, we have the moxie and we have the physical. Obviously, it's a Steelers defense, right? We're going to knock the hell out of you. But here's the thing. The Chiefs are clearly better. I think we can both agree that. I think that you lose against the Raiders, but the Raiders are beating good teams. The Raiders are beating the Saints, who blew out the Bucks. It's all about matchups. And I think you're right. You don't get to 9-0 alone. It's about beating the team in front of you. The Steelers didn't make the schedule, right? But we play down to our competition. And I don't care if this is a Steelers trade or whatnot. That can't be the case going forward. We're going to have to be very consistent. There's no reason for us to not do what we did to the Bengals against the Cowboys, who are a worse football team. Sometimes we do need that wake-up call. I will say, though, there's a lot of ways for us to beat you. We have a lot of weapons on offense.
Sure.
Our defense is going to keep us in games. I think that's the reason why we're undefeated, more than the fact that we have this one strong area like we've had. The Steelers offense is dominant. And then, years past, the Steelers defense is dominant. We have a great offense and defense that come up when they need to. But I'm worried for that day when they don't. When Big Ben does those 3 picks in the second half against the Titans, and it's actually a good football team, what's going to happen? I'm worried that's going to happen in the playoffs. I'm not going to take my guard down at any point as a Steelers fan.
I think that you guys have 2 more Super Bowls if you don't have to go through Tom Brady every year, and now you don't. You have to go through Mahomes, but Brady's on the other side now, and this is really your window.
Yeah, I think that we have to be honest, though, going forward. Is this team as good as we say they are? And I think 2 people have to do that also, too, is Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady. Lots been talked about them, they don't have it anymore, they're washed. We're talking about a kid in Lamar Jackson who's the same age as me that is 1 year, 8 months away from being an MVP. But there have been questions about, how it's looked. I don't think it's the record. I think it's how it's looked going forward. And I think there's questions to be asked.
Yeah, I want to start with Brady. We obviously came up with this question before the games happened yesterday, and coming off of that, Brady was going up against Breeze, this game you look forward to all season. Brady and Breeze, one of the last matchups. Oh my goodness. Maybe the worst game Tom Brady's ever played.
Maybe. No, it's up there.
They almost get shut out. They kick that little field goal at the end of it to avoid the donut and the box score. But Brady looked terrible. That one, Derek Jeter lob interception.
Yeah, it's like your out-of-shape uncle at Thanksgiving dinner. He has you're all playing football outside in the backyard, and he used to play back in the days in high school, but he doesn't really have anymore. I mean, he looked old.
I mean, you have Godwin, Brown, Evans, Gronkowski, Fournette.
Leonard Fournette.
And every player on that offense could be one of the best players in another offense.
Of course.
He's running out of excuses. I don't know what you make excuses for Brady.
I just think it's coaching. I think you look at a team that does kick that field goal to avoid getting shut out, which is just Bush League, and you look at Tampa Bay. All right, it's loose. It's happy hour. It's hard to motivate guys in such a place, and you see that. This is a team that you're not going to see the Patriots' consistency out of, right? And I don't think that can be all put on Brady's shoulders. I do think a lot of it's coaching. Now, what we saw from the Patriot way was how they can, manage a guy like Lamar Jackson because he has real flaws. They put out a 2-man rush against Lamar Jackson where Lamar Jackson was in the pocket, nothing was happening, no pressure's coming, and everyone else is in coverage, and you kind of looked lost for a sec. You didn't really know what to do because they're forcing this guy to pass. They're daring him to pass. They're in the paint. He's like Ben Simmons, and they're daring him to shoot the ball, but he's dumbfounded out there, just wow, they're really betting on me not being able to do this. Can I do this? I just think that's a problem going forward. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to figure it out. But there's very real questions about Lamar Jackson being able to throw the ball right now.
The reason that we're holding Brady and Lamar to these standards is because Brady's a former MVP. Lamar won MVP last year. Brady came back yesterday and he threw some touchdowns and stuff. He proved he can be at the MVP level. But if he's not doing that every week, we're disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in Brady this year. Lamar is the same thing. Lamar comes off an MVP season, so that's what you're expecting from him. The Ravens are 6-3. I think they're playing a little worse than 6-3. They lose to the Patriots last night.
Shouldn't have lost against the Steelers. They blew that game.
Yeah. So Lamar, last year, the defense comes up there with their scheme. Everyone's covered, and Lamar just sneaks out and runs for 40 yards. Week after week, no one knew what to do about that. But you have a whole offseason. You watch all the film. You come back. Lamar said that teams are calling out the Ravens' plays as they're
It's a little predictable.
Yeah, and so the Patriots are obviously a very well coached team. That's a trap game for them where they come in and
it is.
You have the 2-man blitz and a zone, and what's Lamar going to do with that? He's not going to beat you with his arm.
Yeah. I've never seen that before either. I think that was bold by Bill Belichick, and I commend. If Pats fans need a reason to believe in Bill, that game yesterday really showed it. He's working with sticks and stones out there, and I think that's a great thing. Another guy working with nothing is Joe Burrow. And, we talk about these rookie QBs. A lot of people are on the bandwagon. We think this is the 2003 draft. We're hyped up for these young quarterbacks who are really showing a lot of promise, being Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tua. Now, me personally, I think Joe Burrow is an amazing quarterback. He's done a lot with a little. But we forget Andrew Luck, he won 10 games in Indianapolis without an offensive line his rookie year.
2-14 to 10 wins.
Yeah, you want to look at a guy who is the premier rookie quarterback. I think we have to look at Andrew Luck, and I think we have to compare people to that. Joe Burrow is an amazing quarterback, but let's pump the brakes. I'm going to double down. Let's pump the brakes. He's not Andrew Luck, and he doesn't need to be either.
So yeah, he's put up a lot of yards this year. His 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions is a good ratio. You kind of want to see more touchdowns out of him, but he's throwing the ball 50 times a game. He's got the whole team on his back. That was a terrible team that with the first pick got a really good quarterback. Yep. And it's kind of playing out exactly how you think. He's throwing the ball 50 times a game because they get so far behind, and he doesn't have. He's got AJ Green, Tyler Boyd. He's got some options. That's why he's putting up some yards. But so he's showing that he is the guy that you would think he is. He's a good young quarterback, but. In the NFL, you don't earn anything until you win. He hasn't won.
No, and I think that's the same gripe we have on Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert looks a lot like a young Brett Favre. I think he's exciting. I think he slings the ball up. He's not afraid to make mistakes now. And that's why I think that, honestly, I would take him. Out of these rookie quarterbacks, I'd take him. But I think that Tua has shown a lot, and I want you to talk about Tua because it is Tua time, and he has proven a lot of things in the last 2 weeks.
It is Tua time. Tua is 3-0 with 0 interceptions. Only Carson Wentz has done that in recent memory. I know Carson Wentz.
He's amazing, right?
He's an MVP candidate at one point.
That's true.
Tua looks so much better than the stat sheet even shows. Tua, if you watch the Cardinals game, is the reason they won. He's leading them down the field. He's converting on third downs. When he has the chance to throw a 5-yard check down, he's rolling out. He sees a guy 20 yards downfield, and on the run, he's slinging it in there and creating these tight passes. And you watched him and Herbert head-to-head yesterday, which is why I think that you can't say that Herbert is doing a better job this year. Herbert yesterday, it's one play, but it stuck out in my mind. Herbert, as a rookie quarterback, will do. He takes the ball, he drops 2 steps back, he fakes a handoff for 2 seconds, and then looks up to throw it. There was no running back there. He fakes a handoff to nobody, and then the blitz comes, and then he fires it 40 yards downfield, and it was a 40-yard completion. So you've got the talent, but you're a rookie, you got to learn the playbook, you got to learn to be a little smarter than that.
Listen, he's young. He looks 15 years old.
Yeah, Herbert is overperforming on a Chargers team that should be winning him more games. So I think that Herbert and Burrow are performing how those teams should be happy with how he's performing.
Right.
Tua, though, I think that the eyeball test, if you watch him lead this team, is doing the best job of all these quarterbacks. It's only 3 games, but the Miami Dolphins are 6-3 for the first time since 2001. That's basically my whole life, and it's because of Tua. Their defense is amazing, but Tua is putting on a show.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. I think that I'm excited for these quarterbacks. I'm excited, honestly, to see how this whole season shakes down. Just as long as the Steelers, win out, have a perfect season, I'm excited for these guys. They can have a great season, by all means. But speaking of looking forward to things, Thanksgiving is coming up. And we thought that we'd give you, we stick seasonal. We did elections last time. We're going to keep it, timely. And we're going to give you an out of a hat that you can really be thankful for.
In this segment of Out of a Hat, we are trying to create the perfect Thanksgiving dinner. Our categories today are the chef, the cool cousin, the peacekeeper for, when your drunk uncle starts mouthing off, and of course, a wild card. James, I'll let you go first.
Alright, I'm pretty excited. I think we're gonna pick chef first. This is actually pretty integral.
Your chef, because cook everything. Every single thing is being cooked by the chef.
Yeah, and we all know that this is what this holiday is all about. So I'm a little nervous. Let's see. Any celebrity who has been arrested. Any celebrity who has been arrested. Has Gordon Ramsay been arrested?
I'm not sure
Has Gordon Ramsay been arrested? Has Bobby Flay?
I mean, I'm thinking more like Meek Mill. I'm thinking more like...
You think Bobby Flay's been arrested?
I'm not.
Come on, Rachel Ray.
Actually, I won't give it away. But there are some.
People in the food industry.
Maybe potentially.
Oh, come on, man. You gave me any recurring commercial actor.
The one that comes to mind. You want to know what's come to my mind? You want the hint? Or do you
I'll take the hint. I'll take the hint.
I think Martha Stewart's been to prison.
Martha Stewart has been in prison, but I don't want a Martha Stewart Thanksgiving. I want to be a little more tasteful than that. You know what? I'm gonna throw one out of complete left field. I don't know if this guy can cook. It's not hard to cook Thanksgiving food, and I'm going chemistry over everything. I'm going Matthew Broderick. This guy, I think that he's what he brings to a Thanksgiving.
Broderick's been to prison?
He did.
Arrested?
I think he got arrested for that whole entire car accident thing, right?
Oh.
I hope that at least was questioned.
Yeah.
But listen,
I'll count that.
Listen,
and
this guy.
I just wanted a celebrity scandal.
Listen, this guy. What he brings to a Thanksgiving dinner is a lot more than what is just on the table. What he literally brings to the table is more than just the food alone. Again, making turkey's not hard. I'm okay if the food's a little mediocre. If I got Matthew Broderick leading the whole entire thing.
That's a wholesome piece here.
It's a wholesome holiday. It's a wholesome holiday.
I wanted a celebrity with like a real scandal, and you kind of picked one that just
no. Diffusing it all.
He's a teddy bear.
Yeah.
All right.
Your chef.
All right, my chef, someone hopefully better than Matthew Broderick. I have got any famous movie director. So someone that they set the scene. They gotta kind of paint the whole picture here. Paint this.
I feel like Tarantino is serving up like a human body. Like
Tarantino, this is some turkey with its throat drop on the table. No, I'm gonna go with a guy who I also just want to be a fantastic dinner guest, and that's Taika Waititi. Taika is the man. Taika. Thor Ragnarok, you got Jojo Rabbit. He's just he's
a warm guy.
He's a warm guy. He's gonna be the perfect guest at the meal. I've never seen him cook, but I've seen him cook up a juicy story.
That's
if this
true.
turkey is as juicy as Thor Ragnarok, I'm gonna be eating good.
Before I pick cool cousin, I want to say you should pick Wes Anderson, because then everything would have been beautiful. Would have just been everyone walking in the same direction and stuff.
We're all sitting on one side of the table.
Yeah. It would have been quaint. All right, cool cousin. Any MLB starting pitcher. Talk about a cool cousin. You can talk to the entire time. Any MLB starting pitcher. Come on. Can it be of all time or just now?
I'm gonna keep you to just today.
I was gonna pick Randy Johnson. Okay. Any MLB starting pitcher. It's almost like too much. Like I'm trying to think of every single person that I would ever want. But I'm going to keep it. This is actually a mission. This is my personal mission to all Red Sox fans out there. I could pick someone who's more enjoyable company. I could, but I'm not selfish. I'm picking Chris Sale. And you know why I'm picking Chris Sale? I have a lot of questions for Chris Sale. And I'm gonna spend the entire Thanksgiving dinner, we're gonna be throwing a baseball in the backyard, and I'm gonna be like, how's that shoulder feeling? And I'm gonna report back to Red Sox Nation and see how he's feeling, talk to him, like, you really think this next season you're gonna come back? Like, are you gonna be full strength? How good are you feeling? How much ice do you need? And it's like a mission. It's a reconnaissance mission.
Roll the clip of the World Series when Chris Sale was just cursing out the whole dugout, yelling at everyone.
Yeah.
That's a guy with some rough edges, and you just invited him to your meal.
I need this information. I need to get this first-hand information about where he is for the next season. I have a lot of emotional investment into the next Red Sox season, and I want to gauge this with with an educated guess, and that's what I'm gonna do.
If it's me, I'm going Trevor Bauer. I think that guy is.
I was thinking about Trevor Bauer, but again, this is for you, Red Sox Nation. I'm doing this for you.
All right, my cool cousin. I'm gonna hang out with all night. Any Powerpuff Girl.
Hey.
Any Powerpuff Girl. All right, it's gotta be Bubbles, right?
I mean, if you want.
Bubbles. She's the blue one.
I mean, yeah. You pick the one you want.
Bubbles, I mean, yeah, when you watch the show, when I watched the show as a kid, she's the most bubbly. She's your friend. She's the nicest. She's she's sugar and spice and everything nice and
yeah, no, it's true.
I'll handle with Bubbles. That'll be a
yeah. I think you got a good vibe going on right now.
Taika and Bubbles, this is a lovely.
Yeah, yeah. You guys are definitely you're on your way for a very wholesome, nice Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm happy for you. I'm just saying that I did something for Red Sox Nation. That's the only reason I didn't pick Trevor Bauer. I'm staying by it. No, we're talking about Peacekeeper. So this is actually kind of important because I have Chris Sale at Thanksgiving dinner, so might need some diffusing.
You might need some diffusing.
Any celebrity who has gotten COVID.
This is what I was excited about. This is a creative one.
Tom Hanks.
That was the best.
Tom Hanks.
The
best Peacekeeper ever. How can you be mad when Tom Hanks says,
you know what?
Hey buddy, just calm down, he ruffles your hair a little bit, and everyone is going to be at ease, chill, having great conversations. Tom Hanks. That's everything I got it.
I mean, I would have gone Donald Trump. Anyway, my Peacekeeper. Any cartoon animal. Oh, okay. Cartoon animals. A lot's flying through my mind. Like Brian Griffin, I think is more of an instigator than a peacekeeper. A cartoon animal. Come on. Mickey Mouse or Goofy or the rabbit from Zootopia.
That's true.
I'm trying to think of more just Disney animated.
Yeah, you have a lot of Pixar
Olaf's not an animal, right?
I think you can count Monsters Inc. I think monsters, they're animals.
My Peacekeeper, they gotta be smart. They gotta. You know what? I'm just going. Here's what I'm going. Okay, here's my thing. Snoopy just popped into my head.
Okay.
Snoopy can't talk, but I'm also thinking about Winnie the Pooh or Tigger or Goofy. So many options. My Peacekeeper.
Gotta pick one of them.
I'm going Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, not because of his other guys are just so bouncy, so friendly. Tigger's got all the energy, but I think that Winnie the Pooh is if a fight breaks out, Winnie the Pooh is just
hey
guys,
you want some honey?
Let's get some honey.
Yeah.
You can't fight with Winnie the Pooh.
No.
You can't fight around Winnie the Pooh. It's too wholesome. I've got Winnie the Pooh and Bubbles and Taika cooking us up a nice little meal.
There's not going to be one negative thing said all night.
Exactly.
I will say this is cooking up to be a pretty good dinner. I'm happy for you. All right. And I feel like this one, we're not really competing,
No,
I think we both just want ourselves to have a nice evening.
These guys aren't supposed to kill zombies. They're not supposed to win the presidency.
Win an election,
We're just trying to have a good night.
We're trying to have a good time. All right, so wild card.
Yeah.
Wild card. Okay, any Batman villain. There you go. A lot of wild cards to choose from.
You got Joker, Bane, Catwoman.
I feel like Bane.
Poison Ivy.
Bane would just be a bummer. I don't want Bane around.
Yeah.
I think the Joker. Could the Joker be civil for one dinner? I think so, maybe.
I don't think so.
I think you could. I think you could put on a happy face.
I think that your Peacekeeper is gonna need to do some damage control with
Tom Hanks. Can Tom Hanks keep the Joker at bay?
Yeah.
Should Tom Hanks have been Batman? That's a good question. All right, any Batman villain wild card. I'm trying to think of someone who's a Batman villain that could probably
the Riddler, the Penguin, Poison Ivy, Catwoman.
Yeah. I'll go Harley Quinn. I'm gonna go Harley Quinn, and for the sole reason I think Harley Quinn can be civil for one night. I think she can just she'll make a few jokes out there. They're a little outlandish. Maybe Tom Hanks will have to have a talk with him and be like, hey, you can't say things like that at the dinner table. But I think honestly. I think you're talking about damage control. You're talking about the least damage to this Thanksgiving dinner. I feel like Harley Quinn's not going to blow the table up.
She is the archetype of a wild card. She
is a wild card through and through.
All right.
And I think she fits the bill. I don't think anything terrible is to happen. Dinner intact. Dinner intact.
Here we go. My wild card for this meal. Any Harry Potter character who isn't Harry, Hermione, or Ron. This is lovely. Oh my gosh, so much to choose from.
Neville, you go Neville.
Neville Longbottom, obviously. I love Malfoy for all his faults. Snape was a good guy in the end, but I want to have a nice meal. I'm thinking about Dumbledore, but I'm thinking about Dumbledore because Dumbledore, he's just another lovely person to add to this meal. But we're having a feast, and who do you want for a feast? You want Hagrid.
That's true.
I'm taking Hagrid. So my lineup right here, I've got Taika Waititi cooking us up a nice meal, and then me and Winnie the Pooh, Bubbles, and Hagrid. We're just having a jolly old time. We're gonna have a feast. this is a wholesome Thanksgiving. This is what we need in this year, Mark.
It honestly is like this will reverse 2020s having a dinner like that.
Yeah.
I think my lineup is a little more chaotic.
Yeah.
But listen, Red Sox fans, we're gonna know for sure. Is Chris Sale gonna be back next year? We're gonna know 100% for sure. I think that's worth it in the end. And you know what? I think Chris Sale could be a nice dinner guest. I think Harley Quinn will keep it interesting. I think that it's an underrated part of our Thanksgiving dinners. You want it to be exciting. You want some, you want some moments to remember. I think she'll bring that. Tom Hanks, come on, Tom Hanks.
So Tom Hanks, I think, is your best pick by far. But I think that this is just a mismatching unit more than mine.
You don't think Matthew Broderick can get along with Tom Hanks?
I think that you look at like Chris Sale and Harley Quinn, they have kind of sharp personalities, both of them. I think there could be some conflict there that Tom Hanks is going to have to keep the peace and work them through.
I think I have the benefit of two peacekeepers, though. I got Matthew Broderick and Tom Hanks.
Matthew Broderick, I think, is going to have a stressful time in the kitchen. Matthew Broderick, that he loves to just like take the day off. He loves to just be like, not high maintenance. He's going to have to be the one running around, like stressing about all this stuff. I think that he's gonna tire himself out, and if this meal isn't good, I don't know how Chris Sale or Harley Quinn's gonna react to a burnt turkey.
You know what? I don't want to debate this. I feel like we're gonna have a great Thanksgiving. Yeah. And, it's gonna be a great time.
It's a holiday of peace and love and joy. I picked the better team, but we can end the segment now.
I hope your Thanksgivings have some kind of teams like this. Harley Quinn or Chris Sale.
Be the peacekeeper. Be the cool cousin. Don't be the wild card.
Maybe be the chef if you can. Yeah. But anyways, happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of Double Take. We recently eclipsed 60 subscribers, and we are amped about it. Please keep watching, keep spreading the word. We love you guys.
Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let us know what you want to talk about next. Take care, and in the mortal words of Truman Burbank,
in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.